Hi, this is Ned Siegfried from Siegfried & Jensen. As proud sponsors of BeliefCast, we hope you are inspired by Todd's weekly podcasts, which contain so many courageous stories of recovery and personal growth. Remember, it's not what happened in the past that matters, it's what happens in the future. We invite you all to work hard and be optimistic about your future. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires BeliefCast. Thank you once again for tuning in. And as I always say, thank you for believing me and supporting this amazing cause that we have here. It just blows my mind, the support and more importantly, the help that people are getting from bringing on amazing guests that I've had on. I need to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Siegfried & Jensen, Thread Wallets, Wasatch Recovery, and the music you heard at the beginning and at the end is for my good friend Paul Cardall. He's an award-winning pianist. He's an amazing man, and he's given me permission to use his music, so I'm thankful to him. And again, all my past guests, thank you for being vulnerable and coming on the show. It's so cool. And today, guys, you're in for a treat. I've been studying up on this woman. It was a referral from a friend of mine who ran into her, and he was like, you got to get this woman on your thing. She's doing all these great things, and he wasn't kidding. And so today we're joined with Becky Kemp. Becky, thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. I love rubbing shoulders with people that are doing good things. So
yeah, well, we're going to do some good things today, and we're going to touch some hearts, and we're going to inspire people, with words. Yeah. And this is your platform, and I love it. And I want to give a little background on Becky. She's basically, your words matter, and you're going to hear this from her, and it's pretty amazing. She's a certified life coach, mentor, and motivational speaker. She shares the simple truth that through the word effect. She's also a body mapping and trauma-informed breath work facilitator, which allows you to experience healing and creative power found in words and gives you the tools to realign your body, mind, and spirit when life doesn't go your way. We all can relate with that one, right? And we're going to explain more of this. She's the creator of the Word Effect podcast, and you've got a book coming out. Is it pretty close?
It's in the publishing stages with Leadership Books.
Nice.
I just talked with my editor today, hopefully this fall.
Yes. Wow. It's going to be called The Word Effect, 7 Simple Words to Create Your Most Beautiful Life. And, again, you've got an ebook. You're doing just all these great things. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're an influencer, you're someone that we can all look up to and stand on your shoulders because you're doing great things. So thanks again for being here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
So the list goes on, but I want to hear from you now, obviously. So why don't we start with where did you grow up and tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Okay, I grew up here in Utah. I had a little stint in California until I was about 3 years old, and then my dad got transferred back, and I've been in Utah ever since. Grew up in South Jordan, Utah. Okay. Went to Bingham High School and married my high school sweetheart.
Really? Yeah.
I did. We both kind of went to school. He served a mission for our church, and then we got married, and we've been married 25 years. So we haven't gone far.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
25 years.
25 years.
That's amazing.
I know.
5 boys.
5 boys.
Yeah.
5 boys, yes, which some days I think, oh, how did that happen to me? That was one of the things that I was not on my plan. I talk about this a lot is,
right.
I wanted 2 boys and 2 girls, and life doesn't always give us what we think we want, but I've learned how to embrace it, and I love it. And now I have a daughter-in-law and even a cute little grandbaby.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the girls finally are starting to come into my life.
Finally, yeah. Maybe they'll be all girl grandchildren,
Maybe.
right?
I don't know. We'll see. But
yeah. Well, so do you have siblings?
I'm the second oldest of 6, and my family was 3 boys, 3 girls. So I thought that's how families came, right? Yeah. Even amounts. And so when my boys kept coming out boys, I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I wanted. So just as grown up in Utah, I love it here. I don't love the snow. And I always wonder why I live here during the snowy times.
Especially this year, right?
Yeah, but we have to be grateful because we need the moisture. So I do have to remind myself of that. Like, okay, we wanted moisture, so I'm trying to be positive about it. Look at the bright side.
Yeah. So what were some of the things you did as a child that you were involved with?
Yeah. So, I've always loved being on a stage. when I was a little girl, and I danced.
Okay.
I was a dancer, and I was on the drill team at Bingham High School.
Oh yeah, Bingham drill's no joke.
Well,
they're good.
They're way good now.
Not so much then? Or?
They were good, but anytime people hear I was a minorette, they think of the minorettes how they are now, and I always want to be like, well, we weren't quite there. But it does, I guess I was a minorette.
You laid the foundation for it, right?
Yeah, back in the day. I mean, it's like anything. Things are way more competitive than they were when I was in high school, like just any sporting thing. Yeah. So I did a lot of that. And just love to have fun. I actually really love being outside. I love nature. I love a good friend to go on a walk with. Yeah. So I'm pretty easygoing in that way. Okay. I really enjoy the power of connection. Yeah. And that's kind of why I think a lot of the things that I do today really drive my soul, because I love just one-on-one connection with people and just building those friendships.
Yeah, so. Awesome. Well, staying on the theme we're on, you were on the drill team, and I know how hard they work.
Yes.
What were some of the lessons you learned that has helped you even today, that you learned like just being on the drill team?
Oh, there's a lot of lessons. I learned how to show up every day because we went to 6 a.m. practices. And I think about that now, and I think as a teenager, I went to school every day to dance at 6 a.m.
It's impressive.
And you had to be there. And so I learned that. To show up. And I think that's so important to learn how to just show up to life. Yeah. I learned how to follow through and honor commitments. And I think I also learned how to be a good friend. You were on a team with 16 there was like 16 girls, and girls can get catty and and I think I learned how to just stay out of the drama and be a good friend and try not to get into so much of the drama. Because I think if we get in too much drama, we just miss out on
for sure what's
important.
Yeah. Yeah, well, two of my girls did drill, and one of them did dance company. So I saw how hard they worked. I'm like, man, you work harder than the football team, the basketball team. I mean, I was blown away. Yeah. Like, you got 2 practices every day today?
Yeah.
This week, and it was just impressive to watch what they went through and seeing what they learned through that. That's why I asked the question, because so many life lessons outside of just the dancing, right?
Yeah. I think paying attention to the details, to the little things, was another detail that's really helped me moving forward. Okay. My kids tell me, one of my favorite quotes starts out, little things lead to big things. And I use that all the time, because it really is those little things. But, what makes a good team is those little details, pulling it together. And I learned that through drill team too.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, you're doing amazing things today. You are really passionate about how words affect us. Mm-hmm. And whenever I see someone doing such good things like you're doing, there's always a story that happens before this happens. Would you mind sharing, like, how did this come to be? Because I'm sure you had to go through some things in order for that to have that passion and drive to help so many people.
Yeah, very, very true. I love what you said. A story comes from a story. Yeah. So I was having a family, going through life. Things seemed okay. My husband owns a mortgage business, and we went through really hard times through that 2008, 2012 year time. With the economy. We had done a lot of real estate investments. And then there was a lot of just things happening in my life. I'd been married, going through life, and things weren't going how I planned. And I like to have control and feel like I'm in control, and life wasn't happening how I wanted. And I started to suffer with depression, started to suffer with anxiety. But I had been, I don't know if I'd been taught this as a young girl, but like, if you struggle with any mental health things, it was like you were less than. Yeah. And I was embarrassed or kind of ashamed, or I don't want to ask for help, and I'll take care of it on my own. So that was kind of where I was at for several years. Yeah. And I could say all the right things, and I could look like I was pretty put together, but inside I was just kind of crumbling away. Yeah. So that was kind of what I was going through 2008 to 2012, 13. And then I'm a believer in a higher power. my higher power is God. Yeah. And I, one time, just reached out and said, I think I should feel happier than I am. Like, I don't expect things to not, I understand we're going to have hard things in our lives. Right. Is there something else I can do? And I just got this impression that came to me pretty strong, but it was change your words and you can change your life. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really understand what that meant, but I became curious to it. Yeah. And I became curious enough that I started to see how, wow, the way I talked to myself was really negative. And what I focused on was really negative. And what I've come to learn is what you focus on grows, right? Yes. So if you focus on the negative, it just compounds. Yeah. And so I started this progression to kind of find myself. I think I kind of lost myself as being a mom, and I hadn't pursued the passions that I had wanted. I mentioned I love being on a stage. Yeah. And as I got older, I let fear kind of hold me back. Mm-hmm. If you would have asked me what I wanted to be when I was a little girl, I would have said I'd want to write a book and I want to be on a stage. Mm. Yet when I went to college, I never took a communications class or took a writing class or pursued any of those things because I think I let the fear of not being good enough hold me back and feared ahead of time, like they say. Yeah. Stop trying before I even tried. Right. Yeah. And so I think what happened to me really was just I was not fulfilling the mission I was sent here to fulfill or the purpose I was given to share. Wow. And so as I began to change my words, I started to see that I had the power to do the things that I wanted just by changing my words.
Did your husband notice as well that, hey, something was a little off with you just through those years? I mean, obviously he's going through his challenges, trying to, bring home the bacon, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But, did he notice that, hey, something was off?
Oh, he did. And he tried to love me and help me all the way, but he couldn't quite understand me. Yeah. I did during this time, I found that I was struggling with a food addiction. And didn't realize that either. But through kind of changing my words, what happened is I became open-minded. And open-mindedness gives you the ability to try things that you maybe never would have thought about. Yeah. And so during about 2014, I think it was, is when I was introduced to a food addiction program that kind of, it works around the 12 steps. Yeah, okay. And that really has been eye-opening to me. Didn't realize that I had struggles there, but just once I became open to that and with the power of words, I started to see that small, simple phrases make a difference. And I know you have a lot of experience in the recovery world. Yes. You know those little slogans like easy does it, first things first. Uh-huh. Like I started to see that little small sayings could help and support me. Yeah. More so than like a big long book, because it just almost seemed too overwhelming. And so I would put on different words that would kind of support me day by day. Gotcha. And that was kind of the start of progression. And it's, of course, evolved to where it is today, but one step at a time, those little things start to lead to big things, like I said. Like you said earlier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So you're going through this and you're starting to realize my words matter, what I do. How were you just on your own at this point, still just, trying to come up with your own phrases, trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to start talking to myself a little better today? Is that how it kind of, or did you have someone, did you reach out to someone to kind of help guide you through this? Yeah, no, not at first. Okay. The first thing I remember is I was watching a Netflix documentary. Okay. And I can't even tell you what the documentary was. Right. But I remember this phrase. They said, put these words in your life every morning, middle of the day, and night. And the phrase was, I accept myself unconditionally right now. Now, powerful. I had to stop it and rewind it because I accept myself unconditionally right now. I wasn't in a place where I did accept myself unconditionally. And what they said is to say those to you every day, 5 times in the morning, 5 times in the middle of the day, and 5 times at night. And so what I decided to do so I could remember them is I got a little 3x5 card and I wrote those words down. And I just taped it on my mirror in my bathroom. And I thought, I'll brush my teeth in the morning and night. I'm pretty consistent with that. And I'll say those to me. And I had nothing to lose. The words were free. Yeah. And so that was kind of my first experience. Now, the thing about the power of words is it doesn't just happen overnight, right? So it's not like you say it 5 times, then you're like, ta-da.
Yeah.
And sometimes people think that when I talk about the power of positivity and the power of like the word effect, that I just think happy thoughts every day and I just never let anything gray happen in my life. But that's just not really true.
Right.
We have hard days. I still have hard days, but we don't have to focus there as long. We can like redirect our thoughts. And so I just started saying those to myself. And, over time, I began to believe that I accepted myself unconditionally right now. And I began to love myself.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's a way of saying I am actually good enough.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And someone that struggles with perfectionism, someone that struggles with control, it was those words that would help me go, yeah, I do accept myself unconditionally right now. And what I remember them saying was, say it even if you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Because over time, you will subconsciously tap into that. Right. And so that was my first big experience with words. And then from there, I started to acknowledge my dreams and desires. And I said out loud, I want to write a book and I want to speak. Like I finally had the courage. And I do believe in God, but I believe the universe does provide for us as well.
Sure.
And as soon as I said that, I was actually on a panel about addiction at a community event. And I was pushing the furniture around and a lady said, well, why are you here? And I told her and I said, but I really want to, speak and write a book. And she goes, oh, I work for a lady that has this program that she just started. It's a 3-month program if you want to be, write a book, be a speaker and a social media person. You should talk to her. So it was like as soon as you start to acknowledge and say what you want, people come into your life. And I'm sure you believe that.
100%. And you said it earlier, what we focus on increases or magnifies. And you just by saying it, and I want our listeners to understand this, because it sounds almost like, really, does it really work? That yes, you say it out loud, and you watch what starts to happen.
Yes.
And so, I'm a huge believer in that. So I got chills when you said that because you said it out loud, and then all of a sudden you notice, and I don't know, it's just amazing to me.
So there's a thing called the reticular activating system, right?
Yep.
And so what you begin to focus on, you start to see more of, because our brains are really just processors.
Right.
They are just putting information in and out. But when we start focusing somewhere, we pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So if you focus on the things you want or the good, you see more of it. Because our brain's going to go, oh, they want more of that. I'll show them more of that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of fascinating because that was all of a sudden there's this person telling me, meet this lady. And so that was my first experience really investing in myself, hiring a coach or someone to say, this is what I want to do. And then that led to, then I heard about life coaching and got certified through the life coach school with Brooke Castillo. Amazing program. Again, I wasn't necessarily looking for that. But I was looking for pieces, and then all of a sudden it was like, here's the next step.
It is,
Here's the next step. So just things like that have gotten me going.
Wow. That's amazing. I love that. So what was your experience like? Just, some of maybe the lessons learned through that, going through that 12-step. And I know that's a big question because you learned so much, I'm sure. But is there anything that stands out to you, like looking back on that going, man, this really stands out. Like what I learned this. Is there anything that stands out on that?
What stands out the first thing to me is the power of connection and other people's stories. Because I couldn't see that I had a problem, but I started to listen to other people. And then I was like, wait a minute, I could learn from their story. And I just think the power of other people's stories are so important. And I think everybody has a story. But we fall into that compare and despair game where it's like, my story's not big enough, or I don't have anything to share, and I wish I could be like this person. But really, we each have a story to share, and we have influence over people, and our words matter. And a lot of times when I speak to companies, I try to invite the people to realize that their words have influence, whether it's big or small. You do influence people. and to become aware to your words, you know? So that's one of my big takeaways from working a 12-step program was just the power of other people's stories helped me find my own story.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for that.
I love that. And again, just the importance of getting vulnerable and sharing. Because like you're going to reach people that you, like I couldn't reach, let's say. Not that we can't all help everybody, but you're going to hit certain people because of your story, but you wouldn't reach them unless you were telling it.
Yes.
So yeah, I couldn't agree more that I see it all the time in groups here at Wasatch where someone gets really vulnerable and within 1 hour, everyone is so connected with that person and they just look at them and go, man, I mean, they literally will say, I love you. Like that's how powerful that is. So yeah, I'm glad you said that because
and one of the things is when you find people that have something that they have in common, it doesn't matter all the differences,
right?
Because they build on that commonality.
Yeah,
and you can become very, very connected to that.
Yeah,
and so a lot of times when I share about words. What happened is after I started working a 12-step program, I started a t-shirt business called Becoming Threads with my sister-in-law in 2015. And my name's Becky, her name's Erin. So we were the B behind Becoming Threads.
Oh, cool.
And what we started doing was putting t-shirts out into the world, sweatshirts with positive messaging.
Oh, okay.
Neither one of us had run a business before, but we saw the value in putting on words. And so we intentionally started making these t-shirts, started selling them online and at different events here locally. And the thing that I loved the very most about it was that people would, it was mainly women's clothing.
Yeah.
Women would say, I need these words because, and then they would tell me their story. And it wasn't so much the t-shirt, it was keep it simple or,
I actually saw that.
Choose happy,
shirt.
Right? Or,
I love that.
You know, different words that would remind them or empower them.
Yeah.
And then they would share it and you would feel a connection because I would think I need those words too.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
And now we have something in common. And now that's how vulnerability starts. We find one thing in common. Oh, I need those words. So do I. Oh, what's your story? Then all of a sudden we feel like I can be more vulnerable. And like you said, that connection piece that you just talked about.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think vulnerability is key. And that's really what I learned even when I found the power of words for myself was when I got vulnerable with my higher power. And I finally was like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Is there another option? And it was like, change your words and you can change your life. And then I got vulnerable, like, okay, what does that mean? And I opened myself up, right, to try different things. And I do think that a lot of times we get nervous to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But there's such power in doing it. And when you feel safe, it brings a connection.
Yeah. Wow. You said something. I just connected some dots here. It just hit me. Like you said, being vulnerable with God or your higher power. Like, and if it builds connection with us sitting here, I for some reason, I think I should have known this already, but I just connected the dots of being vulnerable with God. And the connection that I would feel with God. Whoa. I don't know. That just hit me.
It's powerful.
Oh my God.
It's powerful.
That's
and that
cool.
was kind of my experience. And I'm still working on it.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I have to practice this every day myself. And some days I just go through the motions and I don't have that vulnerability.
Yeah.
But I believe that words are here to be a compass. They actually are direction for us. I love being in your studio. You have words everywhere, right?
Yes.
I could ask you, what do those mean? What do those mean? You'd have a story, but I can read them and they mean something to me too.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I love waking up every day and thinking, what words do I need today? And I believe that God puts words in my life, maybe through a podcast I listen to, maybe through a billboard, maybe through something I read, maybe from a song. I can't tell you, I have playlists of songs that just inspire me. And so when I'm feeling down, it's like I turn on that playlist and I just listen for those words I feel like they're direction for me.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I do think vulnerability is key and you can have it even with God.
Wow. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
I learned something really powerful today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the word effect. Tell us about this amazing brand, this amazing company, this amazing movement that you're doing. Talk about all these great things and what that means for our listeners.
So the word effect is, there is an effect with words, right? So one time I was reading a book called The Compound Effect, and it's a business book.
Yeah.
And it's a short book, and I liked it, and I really love it, and I reference it a lot. And I started thinking, and he talks about, Darren Hardy talks about, it's just small little things that they compound and they have an effect.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what words are.
Yeah.
And so I started to kind of tap into that with the word effect. And as I had said, I wanted to write a book. I was on a walk one night, and I get inspiration being out on walks. And I was in my thoughts, and I was asking myself, what is it that's helped me move my story forward, to get out of the depression and the anxiety? And I just had this experience where there was these 7 power words, and the first word's to acknowledge. And like I said, when I started to acknowledge my dreams and desires, the second word is I began to ask questions, and I became curious instead of being, well, this isn't going to work. Or, just feeling sorry for myself. I kind of was like, made it more of a game.
Yeah.
The third word is accept. And I kind of learned how to accept myself and who I was, and not to compare myself to others.
Yeah.
Then the fourth word was abundance. Instead of thinking of scarcity, thinking that there's enough for all of us.
There's enough.
Like you mentioned, I'll reach people that you won't reach, and you'll reach people that I won't, but there's enough for all of us to help and have influence.
Right.
Then the fifth word was action. How to take action from a place of how you feel instead of thinking. Because a lot of people want to change their life, but they get stuck in their head, and tapping back into your heart.
Yeah.
And then appreciate is the 6th word, and aspire is the 7th word.
Love it.
And what the word effect is we learn these words, and then instead of growing like up and down, it's kind of expanding like a circle, because you use those words in everyday living.
Yeah.
Like you learn a lesson, and then you get to practice that lesson again with a new experience, right?
Yeah, right.
So you're constantly growing.
Yeah.
So what I believe the word effect is it's a creative and healing power to keep you moving forward, and ditching willpower. So many especially women. I don't know if it's as much for men, but we fall into willpower. Like, I've got to push, and I got to do more. I've got to do more, right?
Yeah.
And word power is much more of the flow of just like looking for those words and showing up. And so like a lot of times I acknowledge my dreams, I begin to ask questions, and then I get to accept what happens, because I don't have control over many circumstances. I can only control what I can offer. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what my book's going to be about, is these 7 power words, and each of the words and how they apply in my life and how others can put them in their life. I also talk about lots of different other words because I do think there's just an effect to words, and your words matter. I believe that the way we talk to ourselves, the way we talk to others, what we put in our lives has an effect. And I think people would say, yeah, I agree with that, but I think we need those reminders on a regular basis.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah, I'm always reminding myself of those things, and I've
been
doing it forever, and I need to keep going. But it kind of sets the tone, and that actually leads to the next question I have for you. I mean, I love the way you carry yourself. I love, I think people seeing you from a distance are like, man, this woman's got it all, man. She's just rock solid. And I know that we all have her, if they only knew, right? And but what do you do, like, in it? What's your day look like? Like, how do you get yourself centered and focused for the day? Obviously, you're focusing on your words, but is there other things to do you have a routine in the morning that you kind of follow? And, is there certain things throughout the day that you try to do?
Yeah, I do. I do believe in routines. I'm not always perfect at them.
Right.
and you know what I want to give any of your listeners permission is, because I was given this permission and it's helped me. If you struggle, just start back. keep going. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we want to start and we're so motivated, and then we slip just a little bit with whatever that might be. And then we feel like we're done.
Yep.
So there's an acronym that I love, and it's TRY. I love the word TRY. And my acronym for it is today, redirect your thoughts. So today is the T, redirect is the R, and your thoughts is my Y.
Right.
And
love that.
So I try every morning. I get up and I do, I pray, and I try to connect with a higher power. I do quiet time where I try to sit still, meditate. Nice. Sometimes I journal. I try to just get focused for the day. Okay. I've learned how to listen better. Before I found words and the power behind them, I never listened to messages that were trying to be told to me. I was always just trying to control things. Yeah. So learning how to just sit still is a powerful tool. Now, like I said, some days I do good, and other days I don't. So my mind's going every which way, and I want to check my phone, and I find myself on Facebook, and then I think, wait a minute, I was going to be centered for a minute.
Yeah,
and then
what was I doing?
You know, and so then I just try again. And then I just work every day to try to redirect my thoughts. Yeah. So when I notice that I'm feeling a certain way, what I've learned with life coaching is how we feel is determined by our thoughts. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I can't catch my thoughts, but I can determine how I'm feeling. Yeah. So I've noticed like, oh, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling, and then I start asking myself, what am I thinking? What's causing this? And then I can decide if I want to keep thinking that or if I can redirect. Yeah. So for example, driving here, it's snowing, right? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the snow. And it's like I'm kind of holding on going, why of all days do I have to be driving here in the snow, right? Like that's my first thought.
Yeah, you're like, thanks, Todd.
Yeah. But then instead of focusing on that, I was like, but we really need the moisture. And I'm really looking forward to doing the podcast. Yeah. And I enjoy sharing. And so instead of focusing on the snow, I kind of focused on other things. And so then it made the drive better. Yeah. It just made everything a little bit better. So it's kind of a simple tweak.
Yeah, I love it.
But it's like if all I did was focus on the negative, it would grow.
Absolutely.
Right? And so instead, so when I got here, I was relaxed. I was calm. I wasn't feeling like, oh my goodness, I was just like, okay. Yeah. And so that's probably the biggest thing is I work on that. But please don't get me wrong. I still struggle sometimes. I'm not always happy, Right. I do have real life things like everybody else. Yeah. But the longer we focus on the negative, it just grows. So I've just tried to learn how to catch myself. And the only way to do that is through practice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all practice.
Back to being a drill team girl, right? Yeah. I learned that the only way to get the routine was to practice. And when they first teach you a routine, you're like, I'm never going to learn this. This is so hard. Yeah. And then you get practicing it and you consistently practice it. So I believe just consistently putting on words has been life-changing for me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. What do you love most about your life?
I love my family. I love that today my boys see me doing things that I'm inspired and that I'm passionate about. Yeah. And they're cheering me on.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do love that. Yeah. And I love even when I get frustrated and days are hard that my boys will say, keep going, Mom. You can do this. When things are taking longer or, I have deadlines for this or I want this to happen and it doesn't go. Yeah. So I love that. I also love that I'm doing things that I always wanted to do. I love that I'm working on speaking and I'm working on coaching and I'm helping others with something I'm passionate about. Yeah. That truly fills my soul is to help another person.
I love it.
And so that's really inspiring to me. And my husband and I are starting to transition into a new stage of life and I'm loving that too. Just our kids are getting older and we're just having more time to focus on things that we want to put out into the world. Because I spent a lot of years as a full-time mom, which I loved, but I am excited for this next chapter too.
Next chapter, no, that's great. So my next question is, what do you love most about you?
Oh, that's a good one.
I always
that's a good one.
That always hits. Boom.
You know, I think one thing I do love about me is that I'm curious.
Okay.
I ask a lot of questions,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got a bug of curiosity, and that helps me out to explore new things.
Yeah.
I think working a 12-step program and seeing how people struggle with addictions and realizing that there's no, there's not an income level or, a certain education level, like it can hit anyone. It's given me a lot of empathy. And so I feel like through curiosity and empathy, that's really helped me. And I love that I have those abilities because I can really sit and have a one-on-one conversation and be vulnerable. But then I feel like I can intuitively know how to handle situations that I maybe couldn't before. And I do love that. And I realize not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
I think they can, but I think it has to be developed.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, I love that. No, it's a great answer to. I know it's a kind of a question out of left field, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I always like asking that because it's great that you can see that in you. That's you can find something you really love about you. Mm-hmm. Again, and words help create that love you were talking about.
Yeah.
You got a book that's going to be coming out hopefully in the fall. You're doing some speaking, you're doing some coaching, all these things. Is there anything else on the horizon you want to do? Like, is there any other, this is going to lead me to maybe hopefully doing this too, or?
Yeah. I am working on transitioning some things right now. I just got certified as a breathwork, trauma-informed breathwork facilitator and with some body mapping. So I really want to get a little bit more into that feminine, masculine energy and into the flow of creation.
Okay. Cool.
And I've been doing a lot of studying on that. So I'd like to teach some more classes on that and offer some more breathwork sessions. I've got a membership site that I want to transition into a breathwork membership site.
Oh, cool.
Because what I have found with breathwork, so often we get stuck in the back of our brains where that's where we go into fight, flight, or freeze. We kind of shuts us down. Our brain tells us of all the reasons we can't do something. And when we learn the power of breath with words, I think that those are both gifts from God. We all breathe because it's just a gift. We don't even think about it.
It's a gift for sure. Yeah.
And then we all have the power to communicate and find words, but we just have to become intentional to them. And so I find that breath work really helps us realign ourselves. And so that's kind of, I'm wanting to really implement that a little bit more and bring breath work in because it's I like simple tools because I came from a place of a lot of overwhelm and I didn't want one more big thing to fail at. Right. And that's why I feel like words and breath are something that they're simple. Everybody has access to. They might need some coaching to learn how to use them, but then they just keep practicing it. Yeah. And I really love that.
Very cool. Yeah, we have you come here and help do our groups here with the breath work. That would be amazing. Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
It really helps you just get back into your intuition and back into decision-making skills. Even just learning to take some deep breaths as you're driving. Yeah. And again, it's like, well, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But like learning how to implement it, that it becomes a reaction when you feel that angst come in. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take some deep breaths, Yeah.
So if people, I love that, by the way, you're also you have a podcast. Mm-hmm. If people go there, what are they going to find? Are you bringing on guests or is it you just talking about power of words or is it a little of both or?
Yeah, that's one other thing that I'm wanting to up level is my podcast. Up until this point, it's just been me talking and they're kind of short and sweet. And I just give some concepts or some ideas, share my story about words and invite people to figure out how they can implement either that part of it or think about their own story. But I would like to up level and start bringing on guests. That's like on the list of things to find out, because what I want to do is find out other people's words, what words they're putting on and have conversations.
I love that.
So, but I have learned constraint and you can't do everything at once.
You're right.
Right? And though I want to, and sometimes I'm frustrated
Yeah.
that I can't, I've had to kind of pick and choose. So as I've been finishing the book and kind of getting that done, it's freeing me up to kind of do some other things now.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, I love all the things you're doing. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
It really is. If there's someone listening to your voice right now, and you've already shared some amazing things with us today, but they're in a dark place, they're struggling, and they're just looking for something, what would you tell that one person right now?
I would probably say if they can't find words themselves today, to take that phrase, I accept myself unconditionally right now. Get a 3x5 card and write it down.
Yeah.
And put it somewhere that you can see it and just start saying it to yourself, even if you don't believe it. And just begin to practice putting those words on. And then as they were to do that, they'd probably be able to see other words that would start to inspire and enlighten them to find joy again.
Love that. Great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a simple thing to do. And it's a good starting point for someone who may feel like it seems too overwhelming to do anything.
Yes.
I think we can all do that. And I'm going to challenge whoever's listening to this that's struggling to write those very words down. I accept myself unconditionally right now.
Yeah,
say it?
right now.
So write that down and let's follow Becky's example and look what it's done for her life. Look where she's at today. And it's truly amazing, honestly. If people want to reach out to you and want to learn more about what you're doing or hire you for a speaking event or listen to your podcast and eventually buy your book when it's ready, what's the best way for them to do that?
So they could go to my website, becomingwithbecky.com,
okay,
and contact me there. Also, if they want, I have a free little ebook called The One Word Way. It's 3 simple words. They're different words than what the word effect is, but they're words that we use every single day. And if we just change these little words, we can change our life.
Nice.
And so you can go to my website to get it, or just becomingwithbecky.com/join.
Okay.
You get on my newsletter list, and then you would get that free book. And then you would get updates when my book comes out. And I just share different messages from time to time of how they can put on words and hear about the podcast there too.
I love it. Very cool. We need to all do that. Everyone go sign up. Let's do this.
Yes, I would love that.
Please,
and you'd be surprised. The words are, they're simple words that we use all the time. And if we just start changing them, we can just change our life right there. And I oftentimes when I speak, that's the first introduction I give people to the power of words, is just changing, talking more about ands instead of buts, and is a word that helps us move forward, and but is a word that holds us back, right?
Yeah, right.
And so just becoming a little more intentional to that can start to change things.
Yeah, simple.
And everybody can do it.
Yeah.
That's what I love. It's like young kids can do this. I speak to youth groups, but then people that are in business settings, women's retreats, different things. You can find anything with words. And so that's what I love to share.
Love it. Well, I can't thank you enough for being on the show, Becky. Seriously.
It's a privilege.
It took us a minute to get this to happen, but here we are, and you're in person, and I'm sitting here, and boy, I'm the one that's probably most blessed because I get to see you in person, but I know our listeners were fed with some amazing things, some powerful principles, and just, again, a reminder to all of us how powerful the story is that we tell ourselves, and words really do matter, like you say, and all the best of luck with what you're doing. And I know this is going to help support this, and anything we can do in the future to help you, I would love to do that and collaborate any way we can, honestly.
I would love to.
But yeah, it's great to rub shoulders with you.
Well, thank you. It's been a privilege, and I love what you do. I think anytime we're trying to share a story to help others is just... That's what we're here to do.
That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and boy, I wrote a bunch of notes, and I took a lot away from here. But that being vulnerable with your higher power, if I hope you got that too, man. That really hit me hard. But all of it was a beautiful thing. So please reach out to Becky, guys, and check out all the good things she's doing. She's a powerful person who's doing great things, who is just like you and I, who has her good days and her bad days. She's human. But at the same time, she's trying to spread some light in this world that we need so desperately. So we're grateful to have her in our lives. And so please reach out to her. And Becky, one last thank you. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, there you go, everyone. Please share this with someone you know, especially if you have someone who's struggling. They need to know more about Becky and her methods. It will help them. And I can't thank you guys enough for supporting me and believing in me. I love you guys. Until next time.